Okay, the Premier League is back, and you know what that means? It's opposition uncovered time. Been quite some time since I last did one for a Premier League game, but whatever. It's West Ham facing Southampton at the London Stadium. One thing is for sure in the last few years, it seems that whenever this fixture's happened in the East End, West Ham scored 3 goals in the game. And the particularly memorable one was on the last day of last season. Fans were allowed back in the stadium for the first time in God knows how long, and they got in for a treat. West Ham beat Southampton 3-0 thanks to a brace from Pablo Fornals and a goal from Declan Rice. The win meant that West Ham achieved their highest ever Premier League points tally and qualified for the Europa League. So it was a good, memorable day all around and a perfect way to end that season. This season, things have mainly stayed the same for West Ham, who still continue to fight for a European place, but it's Southampton that's had quite a fall from grace. Yeah, that rhymes. Absolute hot bars from me. Either way, Southampton last season were one of those teams who started off the season really well and were in the European places, but they slid down the table rapidly slid down the table. It's made Ralph Hasenhüttl's job harder than what he thought. This season has been no exception. Southampton's won 3 games in the Premier League all season and has become a team that is draw specialists. Drew 4 in a row between week 2 and week 5. Drew back-to-back games against Leicester and Brighton. And haven't won in the league since they beat Aston Villa at home on November the 5th. So, what's this means? Well, Southampton's in 15th place and is in actually a relegation battle, even though the fans may not want to admit that openly. It's been a struggle. That said, their football hasn't been too bad. From what I've seen from Southampton, they haven't been playing too badly. They have some very good players and players that really fit the Hasenhüttl model, but they haven't been getting the results. And with football being a very results-based business, that's when the managers start to worry. And he's probably fearing for his job a little bit. The team's also out of the League Cup, as we know. Has been scoring goals, but not as openly as one had probably anticipated. Even though, and this is the thing with Southampton, even though there are glimpses of positivity in that team, it's not kicked into gear this season. There have been some issues, but there have been good things at the same time. Even though it's not really working out right now. It's a complicated situation, really. I don't understand fully where things have gone wrong with the players that they've got. Because they had a pretty good transfer window, I must say. And that brings me on to the 3 players on the ones to watch. First up, a player I've been impressed with is defender Tino Livramento, a 19-year-old Chelsea Academy graduate who is now playing for Southampton. Settled as an immediate starter in Hasenhüttl's side, Livramento is a player who, as a right-back, likes to play quite long dribbles into opposition territory and likes to hang around a bit more centrally than he does as a right-back. That's what I noticed. He's scored 1 goal so far in the Premier League this season, and he's looking quite a strong prospect for the future. Up next is Che Adams, a player that West Ham was linked with back in 2019. Adams had quite a good 2021 and was called up to the Scotland team for Euro 2020. This season with Southampton, he has scored 3 goals in the league in 12 appearances. And the third player is a loanee, Armando Broja, an Albanian who has scored 4 goals in the league this season and leads Southampton with 6 goals across all competitions. Broja hit the post against West Ham when he went one-on-one with Fabianski. Heart in the mouth kind of thing, but in that one game where I saw him, I was impressed with him. He is a very talismanic striker. Likes his one-on-ones with goalkeepers, likes to press, and likes to threaten. He's a really good pickup from them, and he's actually a very underrated striker from what I've seen. So, Those are my three. Livramento, good right back. Che Adams, a really decent striker. And Amanda Broja. I would have said James Ward-Prowse as well, but I mention him in every single preview I do for Southampton, and it's getting a bit repetitive, so I don't think I want to do that. I'll just like to mix and match. As for a player who played for both, one name that immediately sprang to mind was Ian Dowie. Ian Dowie was a striker who represented Northern Ireland at international level. He joined West Ham United from Luton Town in 1991, but his time there wasn't very long. Shortly after he joined West Ham, he then joined Southampton and stayed there for 4 years, making 122 league appearances and scoring 30 goals. He then left the South Coast to move back to the East End and played under Harry Redknapp for 3 more years. This time round, he made 69 appearances and scored 9 goals. After he retired as a player in 2001, the last team he played for was Queen's Park Rangers, he became a manager and has managed Oldham Athletic, Crystal Palace, Charlton, Coventry City and QPR for a very short stint. The latter was a short stint. He now works as a commentator for Sky Sports Soccer Saturday. Score prediction for this. It would be very easy for me to go back on what I said in the start of the video and say West Ham to score 3 goals and to win 3-0. I don't see that happening with how West Ham's playing right now. If anything, we'll end up drawing against this lot. We did earlier on in the season because we didn't believe in ourselves enough. But Southampton's got more to fight for right now than West Ham because Southampton's fighting now to stay in the league. And whether they want to admit it or not, they are. They're in a relegation scrap. West Ham's got in a fight to get into Europe. There's a lot on the line for both teams. I'm going to honestly say in this, a 2-2 draw. And that sounds high scoring and that sounds like contradictory. But a 2-2 draw might seem fair enough, given their strong attack and our way to find different ways of scoring. So for that reason, a 2-2 draw seems fair. And Southampton likes to draw a lot this season anyway, so well, what's not to argue about that? Thank you very much for watching this episode of Opposition Uncovered. If you liked the video, you know what to do by now, people. Hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe for more content. Take care, everybody, and I will see you all soon.